The handshake that would ignite the greatest automotive war in racing history was brutally rejected on May 21, 1963. Henry Ford II had flown to Maranello, Italy, with a $7 million offer to purchase Ferrari outright, believing that money could buy him instant access to racing glory and European prestige. Instead, Enzo Ferrari delivered the insult that would consume Ford's pride and transform American automotive history forever. "Mr. Ford, your cars are ugly and primitive," Ferrari declared with aristocratic disdain as he walked away from the negotiating table. "You may build tractors, but you will never understand the soul of a true racing machine. Ferrari cannot be bought by Detroit money." Henry Ford II's face turned red with rage and humiliation. The grandson of automotive pioneer Henry Ford had been publicly dismissed by an Italian sports car maker who treated Ford Motor Company like a factory for farm equipment. The insult cut deeper than business rejection. It was a challenge to Ford's legacy, American automotive supremacy, and his personal honor. "Fine," Ford snarled to his stunned negotiating team as they left Ferrari's headquarters. "If we can't buy Ferrari, we'll destroy them. I don't care what it costs or how long it takes. Ford is going to beat Ferrari at their own game, and we're going to do it at Le Mans, where the whole world can watch them lose." What began as a failed business acquisition would become the most expensive revenge campaign in automotive history. Ford's war against Ferrari would cost over $25 million, revolutionize American racing technology, and create the legendary GT40 that would demolish Ferrari's Le Mans dominance forever. If you love discovering the untold stories behind automotive history's greatest rivalries, please like this video and subscribe to the Car Chronicles. The failed deal that started everything. May 1963. Henry Ford II's attempt to purchase Ferrari wasn't driven by pure business strategy. It was about acquiring instant credibility in European racing circles where American manufacturers were dismissed as crude mass producers who knew nothing about automotive sophistication. Ford had dominated American automobile markets for decades, but European prestige remained elusive. Ferrari represented everything that American car companies lacked: racing heritage, technical sophistication, and the kind of aristocratic exclusivity that money couldn't buy through normal business channels. Ford wanted to purchase Ferrari's racing reputation along with their company, recalled Ford executive Leo Beebe. Henry Ford II understood that buying Ferrari would instantly give Ford the European credibility that would take decades to build through normal competition. It seemed like the perfect shortcut to racing glory. The negotiations had proceeded smoothly until the final details revealed fundamental differences in automotive philosophy and corporate culture. Ferrari demanded to maintain complete independence in racing decisions, while Ford insisted on corporate oversight that would ensure their investment protected Ford's interests. Enzo Ferrari's rejection was motivated by more than just business concerns. It was a statement about automotive aristocracy versus industrial democracy. Ferrari viewed his company as an exclusive artisan operation that created mechanical masterpieces, while he saw Ford as a mass production factory that prioritized quantity over quality. "Ferrari never intended to sell to Ford," observed racing journalist Dennis Jenkinson. Enzo used the negotiations to extract technical information about Ford's capabilities while publicly humiliating American automotive ambitions. The entire process was designed to demonstrate Ferrari's superiority over American industrial power. The public nature of Ferrari's rejection made Ford's humiliation even more painful. European automotive press covered the failed negotiations as evidence that American companies couldn't compete with European sophistication, reinforcing stereotypes that Ford desperately wanted to overcome. Henry Ford II's personal investment in the Ferrari acquisition made the rejection a devastating blow to his pride and vision for Ford's global reputation. The failure convinced him that direct confrontation was the only way to achieve the respect that business acquisition couldn't provide. The Le Mans Declaration of War. June 1963. Ford's response to Ferrari's insult was immediate and total. A complete commitment to defeating Ferrari at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, the world's most prestigious endurance race where Ferrari had dominated for years through superior engineering and racing strategy. Le Mans represented the ultimate test of automotive excellence, combining speed, reliability, and endurance in a 24-hour battle that destroyed inferior machines while rewarding only the most sophisticated engineering. Ferrari's dominance at Le Mans was the foundation of their racing prestige and technical credibility. Henry Ford II authorized unlimited spending for a Le Mans program with one simple objective: build whatever was necessary to beat Ferrari completely and publicly. Cost was irrelevant. Only victory mattered in what Ford viewed as a war for American automotive honor. Ford approached Le Mans like a military campaign rather than a racing program, recalled Ford engineer Roy Lunn. Henry Ford II wanted total victory that would humiliate Ferrari the way they had humiliated Ford. This wasn't about winning races. It was about destroying Ferrari's reputation for technical superiority. Ford recruited the best available engineering talent regardless of cost, including British racing experts who understood European racing conditions and Ferrari's competitive advantages. The program represented Ford's largest single investment in racing technology and development. The GT40 project began as a direct response to Ferrari's challenge, designed specifically to defeat Ferrari machines at their own game using American engineering resources and determination. Every design decision was evaluated based on its potential to embarrass Ferrari at Le Mans. Ford's public commitment to Le Mans victory created enormous pressure for results while providing Ferrari with clear warning about American intentions. The competition became personal rather than just business, with both companies understanding that failure would damage their reputations permanently. The media attention surrounding Ford's Le Mans campaign turned automotive engineering into public entertainment, with racing fans worldwide following the development battle between American industrial power and Italian automotive artistry. 1964. The first assault and spectacular failure. Ford's initial Le Mans assault in 1964 was a disaster that provided Ferrari with exactly the kind of American failure they had predicted. All three GT40 prototypes retired from the race with mechanical failures that exposed fundamental engineering problems and organizational chaos. The 1964 failures were embarrassing and public, with Ford's expensive racing machines breaking down while Ferrari vehicles completed the race successfully. European racing press treated Ford's failure as evidence that American automotive ambitions exceeded their actual capabilities. The 1964 Le Mans race was a complete humiliation for Ford, admitted team manager John Wyer. Our cars broke down in spectacular fashion while Ferrari demonstrated exactly the kind of reliability and sophistication that we were trying to match. It was a very expensive education in why Ferrari had dominated Le Mans for so long. Henry Ford II's reaction to the 1964 failure was not retreat, but doubled commitment. Instead of abandoning the Le Mans program, Ford increased spending and expanded engineering resources while demanding fundamental improvements in every aspect of GT40 development. The technical problems revealed in 1964 included transmission failures, engine overheating, and aerodynamic instability that made the GT40 dangerous at racing speeds. Ford's engineering team had to solve multiple fundamental problems while Ferrari continued refining their already successful designs. Ferrari's response to Ford's 1964 failure was confident and dismissive, with Enzo Ferrari publicly suggesting that American companies should focus on their traditional strengths rather than attempting European-style racing sophistication that required decades to develop properly. The failure intensified Ford's commitment to Le Mans victory while providing valuable engineering data about what needed improvement. The expensive lessons from 1964 became the foundation for more sophisticated engineering approaches in subsequent years. Media coverage of Ford's 1964 failure reinforced European skepticism about American racing capabilities, while creating additional pressure for Ford to prove that industrial resources could overcome traditional racing expertise through better engineering and determination. 1965. Improved performance but no victory. Ford's 1965 Le Mans campaign showed significant improvement in GT40 reliability and performance, but Ferrari's strategic racing and technical sophistication still prevented American victory. The race demonstrated Ford's engineering progress while highlighting Ferrari's continued competitive advantages. The 1965 GT40s completed the race successfully, but couldn't match Ferrari's combination of speed and strategic driving that maximized both performance and reliability over 24 hours of competition. Ford had solved their mechanical problems but not their competitive disadvantages. 1965 proved that Ford could build reliable racing machines, but we hadn't yet learned how to race them strategically, observed Ford driver Ken Miles. Ferrari's drivers and engineers understood Le Mans in ways that took years to develop, and our superior horsepower couldn't overcome their experience and tactical sophistication. Ferrari's 1965 victory was accomplished through careful race management that conserved equipment while maintaining competitive speeds, demonstrating the kind of racing intelligence that Ford's engineering-focused approach had not yet developed. Henry Ford II was encouraged by 1965 improvements, but frustrated by continued Ferrari superiority. The progress proved that Ford's engineering approach was working, but victory required additional development time that tested Ford's patience and commitment. The engineering lessons from 1965 convinced Ford that GT40 development needed to focus on racing strategy and driver training as much as mechanical engineering. Beating Ferrari required understanding endurance racing as a complete system rather than just a test of automotive performance. Ferrari's 1965 victory was achieved with less dramatic technological advancement than Ford's GT40 improvements, demonstrating that racing success depended on accumulated experience and strategic sophistication that couldn't be purchased or developed quickly. Ford's 1965 campaign established the GT40 as a legitimate racing machine while proving that Ferrari's Le Mans dominance was vulnerable to sustained engineering development and competitive pressure from American automotive resources. 1966, the Revenge Campaign succeeds. Ford's 1966 Le Mans victory was complete and devastating, with GT40s finishing first, second, and third in a display of American engineering dominance that humiliated Ferrari exactly as Henry Ford II had demanded 3 years earlier. The 1966 race represented everything Ford had invested in their revenge campaign: superior engineering, unlimited development resources, and strategic racing that combined American industrial power with sophisticated competitive intelligence acquired through years of expensive education. 1966 was Ford's complete vindication, celebrated team manager Carroll Shelby. "We didn't just beat Ferrari, we destroyed them." The 1-2-3 finish proved that American engineering could master European racing sophistication when properly motivated and resourced. Henry Ford II got exactly the revenge he wanted. Ferrari's 1966 failure was particularly painful because their machines were reliable but simply outclassed by Ford's superior speed and strategic racing. The defeat proved that Ferrari's traditional advantages could be overcome by determined American development efforts. The victory represented more than just racing success. It was vindication of American automotive philosophy and industrial capabilities. Ford had proven that engineering resources and systematic development could overcome traditional European advantages in sophisticated competition. Henry Ford II's satisfaction with the 1966 victory was complete and personal. The humiliation Ferrari had inflicted in 1963 had been repaid with interest through public demonstration of American automotive superiority at Ferrari's most important racing venue. The technical achievement represented by GT40 development was revolutionary. creating advanced racing technology that influenced both competition vehicles and production car engineering for decades. Ford's investment in beating Ferrari advanced American automotive engineering substantially. International recognition of Ford's 1966 Le Mans victory established American manufacturers as legitimate competitors in European racing, ending decades of condescension toward American automotive technical capabilities and racing sophistication. 1967–1969 Dominance and Legacy. Ford's GT40 continued dominating Le Mans through 1969, winning 4 consecutive victories that permanently destroyed Ferrari's reputation for invincibility while establishing American racing technology as world-leading rather than merely competitive. The sustained dominance proved that 1966 was not a fortunate exception, but the result of systematic engineering superiority that Ford had developed through their expensive revenge campaign against Ferrari's initial humiliation. Ford's 4-year Le Mans dominance was the most complete reversal in racing history, observed motorsports historian Carl Ludwigsen. Ferrari went from dismissing American automotive capabilities to watching American machines dominate their most important racing venue for years. The humiliation was total and public. Ferrari's attempts to regain Le Mans competitiveness during Ford's dominance were unsuccessful, demonstrating that Ford's engineering development had created lasting competitive advantages rather than temporary tactical improvements. The GT40's racing success influenced Ford's production vehicle development, with racing technology advancing street car engineering and design in ways that benefited Ford customers while reinforcing the company's performance reputation. Henry Ford II's investment in beating Ferrari was vindicated completely through sustained racing success that achieved all his original objectives: European credibility, technical prestige, and public revenge for Ferrari's 1963 insult to American automotive capabilities. The rivalry transformed both companies permanently. Ferrari was forced to modernize their engineering and business practices, while Ford established lasting capabilities in high-performance engineering that continued benefiting the company long after their Le Mans campaign ended. The automotive industry recognized Ford's Le Mans dominance as proof that American engineering resources could achieve whatever objectives they targeted with sufficient commitment and investment, changing global perceptions of American automotive capabilities permanently. Modern impact and recognition. The Ford versus Ferrari. Le Mans War represents one of the most successful revenge campaigns in business history, demonstrating how personal insults can motivate extraordinary engineering achievements and competitive success when backed by adequate resources and determination. From an engineering perspective, Ford's GT40 development advanced American automotive technology substantially while proving that systematic engineering approaches could overcome traditional competitive advantages when properly implemented and resourced. The rivalry established important precedents for automotive competition, showing that success in sophisticated racing required complete organizational commitment rather than just superior individual components or technologies. The business impact extended beyond racing success to influence Ford's global reputation and competitive position in markets where performance credibility affected sales success and brand perception among sophisticated consumers. Cultural significance of the Ford versus Ferrari rivalry transcended automotive competition to become a symbol of American industrial capability, competing successfully against European technological sophistication through determination and superior resource application. The engineering innovations developed for GT40 racing influenced automotive technology broadly, with racing-derived improvements benefiting both Ford production vehicles and industry-wide technological advancement in performance engineering. Contemporary racing still reflects lessons learned during the Ford versus Ferrari Le Mans War, particularly regarding the importance of systematic development approaches and strategic thinking in endurance racing competition. The rivalry demonstrates how personal motivations can drive extraordinary business achievements when combined with adequate resources and technical capabilities, creating results that exceed what purely rational business analysis might predict. The story reminds us that the greatest automotive achievements are often motivated by pride and competition rather than just technical curiosity, and that personal determination can overcome seemingly insurmountable competitive disadvantages through sustained effort and investment. If this story moved you, subscribe to the Car Chronicles and hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to know that the greatest automotive rivalries are often personal wars fought with engineering excellence, and that American determination can overcome European tradition when properly motivated and resourced. What's your favorite automotive rivalry story? Let us know in the comments about other competitions between manufacturers that created extraordinary technological advancement through competitive pride and determination.